Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the care and propagation of this beautiful Aglaonema Lotus Delight. It's actually created by Professor Greg Hambali here in Indonesia, so this is the pride of Indonesians. I don't really know the parentage of this hybrid here, but it is so beautiful. If I may dare say so myself, this is the best looking Aglaonema. It's got this really vibrant pink color around the rims, just the right shade of green. It's got light green and dark green in the middle, and the veins, look at them, you can just get mesmerized in these electric pink greens. And this is actually an easy plant to care for. All Aglaonemas, I would say, are relatively easy to care for, but the common misconception is that they're low light houseplants, and they're not. Actually, a lot of them do like a bit of direct sunlight. If you grow them in lower light situation, they will grow slower, they'll grow longer internodes, smaller leaves, and then they will also not be so vibrant in color. They will be a little bit more dull. Actually, this is a specimen that's been with me for about a year. I got it when it was super tiny. Not the fastest growing. I've got other Aglaonemas that are faster growing. The care real quick is that, again, the light, bright indirect, a little bit of direct sunlight will do them justice. They like to be in airy potting mix. They don't want to be sitting in water for too long. They can be dried out a little bit. They can tolerate a little bit of forgetfulness and drought. For potting mix, I give them forest floor potting mix. Do amend your potting mix with lots of perlite if you can, to give it a little bit more aeration. I do fertilize this the same as my other house plants, just with chemical and natural means. And in terms of pests, Aglaonemas are quite pest-free, to be honest. So they're very easy to care for plants and bring me so much joy. And actually, the proper way to grow Aglaonema is not like this. So when we buy them, they tend to be just one single trunk, and they get leggier and leggier over time with just some leaves on the top. The professionals, they would always chop them up and then encourage lower growth from the base, so that it becomes a really beautiful bush of this, basically. And I haven't had the heart to cut this up because it is actually very expensive here. So I will actually do that for you today. I'll propagate them, but the care for Aglaonemas are pretty much similar across the board, which makes them very likable. All right, so here we are at our propagation station. And it's worth mentioning that Aglaonemas do push out pups, or they do branch out sometimes, even if you don't cut it, just so you know. But it'll take them a long time to do it. They tend to do that after they have flowered and fruited. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. Let me see if I can see any growing eye here. I've got another Aglaonema video, the Pictum tricolor video. So if you wanna see how to propagate another Aglaonema, which is the same exact method, do check it out. I'm looking here for a growing eye because I don't wanna cut through a growing eye. I wanna make sure that yeah, I think this is the growing eye. Let me take the sheath off first. See this little nub? Here we go. That's the growing eye. So what I want to do is I want to cut a little bit above that. Snip. I did lose a leaf, but that's going to happen. Don't worry about it. And this is also a growing eye that's actually already activated. Look at that. How cool. Okay, I need to figure out what to do because this is actually very close together, but I cannot plant this as it is because it doesn't have a lot of roots, so the plant may actually die if I plant it as it is now. So let me see what to do, decision time. I'm gonna sacrifice this leaf. See, there's another growing eye here. Cut above that. So each growing eye used to have a leaf on that node. Yeah, so this is a perfect cutting. I know it doesn't look like much now, but yeah, so that's the growing eye here. So I'm gonna plant this way up into the soil. So this is some general purpose potting mix. So I wanna gently just push it down, just like that. Having the growing eye facing up. It doesn't have to be submerged in the soil, it just needs to be humid. And I just wanna keep this slightly damp throughout until I see some growth here. Yeah, very cute. Excited for that. So normally I could leave like a few leaves on, but I think for this I may have to sacrifice them because they're so close together. Let me see. Yeah, see, I can't really see the node in there. It's covered by all these sheets. So this one is already activated, this growing eye here. So I want to cut above that. Very difficult to do because this is so close together. Okay, done. Very nice. And actually, what I really recommend to do is to rub a little bit of activated charcoal on the wound to prevent infection. I should have done it with my previous cut, but they can do it without as well. I'm just gonna stick that here with the growing eye facing up and the roots, the aerial roots that it had facing down. So there's two living in there. Getting nervous with this, you guys. Can you feel how nervous I am? But yeah, I can't really take the leaf. I wanted to keep some of the leaves, but I can't. So this is another, oh my god, let me wash my hands off first, hang on. All right, now we can all see better. So that's a growing eye here, and then there's the aerial roots for it. So I want to cut a little bit above that. I'm gonna lose one leaf, I think. Okay, I'm gonna dip that in a bit of charcoal, and then I want to plant it. I'll see if I can show you in the camera this. I'm gonna plant it this way up. So cute, look at that, it's like it's got feet. Yeah. So no matter what, you want to try to get the roots in the potting mix, and you want to try to get the growing eye facing up, but in this case the growing eye is kind of facing outwards, which is fine. It's gonna find its way because plants, they actually have figured out gravity, believe it or not. All right, moving on. More leaf murders. Look at that. I'm so sorry, this has to go, you know, but to make more plants you gotta sacrifice some leaves, unfortunately. There's two nodes here. There's one growing eye, there's another one here. Very close together. I'm gonna get super greedy now. I'm gonna cut it like that. This is the smallest cutting I've ever done. Very, very small. A little bit worried. Look at how small these are. From the side, it looks like looks like that from the side. This is very, very, very ambitious cutting. You know what? There's no turning back. I'm gonna take off a few more leaves. Look at how beautiful these cool growing eyes are. So each leaf will give you one growing eye. It's the potential to give you one whole plant. So I want to keep taking it off. This is actually very hard because look at how they intersect with each other. So it's very difficult to cut them off. Yeah, got it. There you go. Okay, you know what? This last one I'm gonna leave it on because I don't want to be too greedy. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna propagate this in water. I mean, sometimes people actually do just stick this in potting mix and just let it just do its thing. But I think in my case, it'll be safer to do it in water. But there's too many leaves here. It doesn't have roots, so I'm gonna have to take off one more leaf. I'm so sorry, little fella. Oh my god, I knocked over this. Sorry. Okay. One thing at a time. So yeah, I'm gonna propagate this in water, and I'm gonna show you some of the results after. And of course, I'm gonna update you guys. This is becoming very nerve-wracking and stressful for me. Okay. And then let me fix this one that I knocked over. I guess I prepared this for nothing. I thought I was gonna put the top cutting here, but nope. I guess water would be the safest option. Now, the parent plant here. I have a feeling I can actually, because I don't know if you can see, there are a lot of nodes here, and there's some that probably spans all the way down. So when you cut your parent plant like this, it's going to branch out quite a bit. I'm gonna take more cuttings. If you don't cut it further, only one or two branches will form, but if you, look how cute this is. It's got, looks like a little person, a little thing. It's got feet. If you don't cut it, it will activate one or two branches from below, but if you cut it, obviously you'll have a lot more plants to enjoy. Stick that in here together. I'm gonna keep two of these in one pot. My feeling is that only one of them is gonna survive. Survival of the fittest, yo. And let me see, do I wanna cut some more here? I dangerously cut into a growing eye. Look at that little knob here, that's a cross section of a growing eye. So you know what, I'm gonna leave this alone. If this activates, it will come out as a whole branch. If not, a lower one will appear, but I'm gonna leave it as it is. This plant, again, I've got it for a bit over a year, maybe a year and 3 months. There's a lot of nodes down below because I didn't have the heart to propagate it. I got it as a young plant. You know, hang on one second, should I? You know what? I'm gonna do it. Spur of the moment, greediness. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna unpot this and I'm gonna see. Oh yeah, and aglaonemas, they actually, oh my god, look at how long this goes all the way down here. I'll have a lot more plants than I thought. Aglaonemas, they like these long pots because again, they grow upwards, and because they don't climb onto a moss pole, if you keep giving it height, the roots will root into the potting mix. So I just kept increasing the height and kept adding media. Look at how much this is. This is a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna rinse this off. I'm not gonna show you how I do it. I guess I'm just gonna do it, but without showing, because it's gonna be so nerve-wracking for me. I'm gonna get a knife as well. I'm going to rinse this off. I'm gonna check each one for growing. I'm gonna cut single nodes where possible without hurting too much of the root. So this is gonna take a while, but I'm not gonna show you that. But this is very exciting for me. This is giving me a sudden hit of adrenaline rush. This is a lot of plant material here. So I'll see you when I'm done potting these up. Alright, so for the next 3 clips I recorded with my mic off, so bear with me, I'm doing a voiceover in the future. So this is what I managed to cut up. I managed to get so many cuttings, I'm very excited at this time. But spoiler alert, a lot of these did not make it. I guess they were not cared for correctly, but as you can see here, I actually left at least 1 node, and some of them have 2 nodes on each of these cuts, and I gave them the forest floor potting mix, and I grew half of them indoors and half of them were grown outside in full rain, which is a big mistake. But again, I'm gonna spoil it because I'm doing a voiceover now, so I can say whatever I want. But basically I overwatered all of them, including the ones indoors. So here is the update 6 weeks later. And actually from here, you cannot see that they have suffered yet. In this clip, I remember being very optimistic, very happy. I was counting my eggs before they hatched. In fact, I was getting a little bit cocky because a lot of these started sprouting leaves, and they should have actually taken off if I gave them a proper greenhouse away from the rain, and if I backed off with watering. And also keep in mind that at this stage, I have a gardener. So there were 2 people caring for these plants, which is not a good system. But by the time you watch this video, I think I would have gotten rid of the gardener. I would have taken a hold of my plant care completely. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm also updating the ones that are indoors now. This one has sprouted leaves. But unfortunately, look at how wet the media is. In the next pot, which I'm gonna show soon, I don't know where. Yeah, this one, that turned to mush. You can see that it's turned soft. That is overwatering. So these guys, they actually really hate water. When you want to propagate them, make sure that you keep the media kind of on the dry side, but not completely dry. I don't know if I'm making myself clear enough. You don't want to spray tiny amounts of water now and then frequently, but this is way too much water. I remember the pot was actually really heavy. So yeah, I should have taken more control of these propagates. But yeah, I had my gardener, so yeah, things got a little bit bad. But actually, he's gotten better. He's getting much better at propagation now. But sadly enough, I am getting rid of the plant store, so I'm no longer needing his services. This is the one that is in water. It's top cutting. I usually put top cuttings in water propagation, and it's not yet put out roots. But spoiler alert, this is actually the only cutting that survived. In the end of the video, this is the only one that I ended up with. So, you know, water is maybe sometimes the best way to go with these. And I do recommend for you to try different methods of propagating them just to see which one you have a higher success rate with. But again, the key is never ever overwater your cuttings, especially your soil cuttings. And for water propagation, do check out a video that I have on how to increase success rate in water propagation. I'm going to link that video up above, and I will see you in the next update. It is 5.5 weeks since the update, the last one. Unfortunately, this one didn't make it. I'm pretty sure this is mush. Now it's still solid, but this is done. Look at the little vine. It came out, it died off. This one died off as well. Let me squeeze it. Yeah, nothing's there. But the top cutting that we propagated in water first, and then now in moss, is giving me this hope. So this is probably one of my worst disastrous propagation process. And I think the mistake came in letting the cuttings get too wet. in water. So it was like, I believe September until December area when it rained every day torrentially on the cuttings. They all rotted off. And since then, I've moved all my cuttings here in this room, and a lot of them have started thriving. So I've learned my lesson. Like when I moved into my new home, I have to build a canopy on top of my backyard garden to prevent rain from... Rain is the #1 killer for me, for plants. So this is giving me hope. I'm gonna actually move this into my aeroid potting mix, but let me quickly show you the... Not aeroid, sorry, my forest floor potting mix. But let me show you the roots real quick. Yeah, it's developing very nicely. This is ready to be moved. Here is a final update. It's 1 month since the last clip, and 8 months in total from the beginning of the video. This is all we have left. Unfortunately, I'm grateful that we didn't lose all of them. This one looks healthy. It is a little bit overwatered too, I think. This has been under my gardener care. He cares for this space, but I'm glad because he won't be around for too long anymore. He's not the worst, but people make mistakes, and I've made many mistakes. I've killed many plants to get to where I am today, and he's in the process of killing too many plants. So yeah, I will be starting to take care of my own plants soon after. If you haven't seen that video, I'm about to post a video on an update for the store and also my personal life, my personal relationship with plants. I'm gonna link that video up above. But yeah, here's the one and only survivor. And yeah, we did lose 8 months in total from the start of the propagation, and I lost too many cuttings again because of the rain. I should not have been too cocky. I should have been more careful. So if you guys are propagating your aglaonemas, especially precious ones like this species here, be on top of them. Do not let them get rained on. Do not let them get overwatered, because the baby leaves, they are very, very sensitive. The single wet node propagations, they're also very prone to rot and overwatering. So I don't get everything right all the time, just so you know. Do not follow my mistakes, and I hope that you guys are growing your plants well, especially your aglaonemas. There are many beautiful varieties of them. Some of them are extremely rare, and the common ones are just as beautiful, and the care is very much similar. So yeah, I hope that this video has been useful for you guys. I'm at Botanist on Instagram. If you want to DM me on any questions regarding plant care and propagations, I'll try my best to get back to you. Meanwhile, do take care and stay safe. I will see you in the next video. Bye!